Welcome to another live stream, Legends. Guys, this is your trigger warning right now. I apologize now for the profanity that will be taking place. I may get a little hot about a few things in this stream dealing with both the actual technical analysis, as always, obviously, because I love trading charts, but also some fundamentals that a lot of people are not even considering at this point. But that being said, guys, I promise I will also look at some bullish scenarios as well. I will take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you've got the stomach for it, let's jump right into it, Legends. First things first, I want to just mention that I had actually posted this in my Telegram earlier, but I was looking at this Stuber fib short setup. Basically, we had a fib pull from this lower high signal, which is printed on the AI charting tools. So that's some good confluence that I like to use. Now, to be completely fair at this point, it is becoming a little bit riskier because we did already get my 786 entry. Unfortunately, never hit any of my higher up laddered entries. That's totally fine. But since we did hit my first target, I closed a quarter of that position and I removed the rest of my positions, or my laddered entries. I also bumped my stop loss up to just above my 886 because I really don't, especially now that we've tested this resistance pocket, I don't want to see us break it again. If we do, I just want to cut my losses and just kind of wait and see what happens. If we got some sort of a swing fail off this level, I would consider reshorting it. But other than that, I'd be looking for prices a little bit higher. And honestly, guys, with that crypto summit thing at the White House tomorrow, I would expect a little bit of FOMO. I would not be surprised to see the price climb a little bit. But understand, I am very much so looking at that as a sell event, sell the news event. I know everybody always gets so horned up over these events whenever Trump is going to talk about crypto. You guys, I don't know how many times it has to happen, but since July, he wasn't even in power yet. Since July, the first time he had his speech about Bitcoin, everyone was telling me I was crazy because I was bearish while we were trading right into a 886. I said it was a perfect sell the news event. We were trading into resistance. It was literally the exact top. And since then, anytime Trump has mentioned anything about crypto, anything bullish, it's always been very quickly followed up by a sell the news type of thing. His own coin, the amount of the supply they own, how much their wallets were dumping on people at the top. There's so many things that are happening on the side that you have to understand the markets can still go down. We're going to go into a few of those scenarios in a little bit here, but just basically I want you to understand that all of these crypto events, it's very likely that it's a buy the rumor, ride the wave into the event and then get the hell out because, all hell could break loose. But that being said, guys, obviously the opposite can happen. Let's say the fundamentals tomorrow versus the last 20 times, they all of a sudden matter for once. Fine. That's why we have invalidations. That's why we trade charts and not tweets, right, guys? So I just want to jump into some longer time frames, you guys. I know everybody, the larger influencer accounts were claiming that we have confirmed this was a bear trap. You guys, this was a very obvious bounce level. I was not bullish. I took the long trade there, even though I was insanely bearish, but we've hit my target for that trade. That's a typical Stuber fib setup. We bounced from the 786. We ended up hitting the 214. That trade has played out. It would make a lot of sense that we reverse now. We don't have to. We can continue climbing to the upside, but the long setup has already played out here, in my opinion. So claiming that this has confirmed that this was a bear trap, this hasn't confirmed shit. All this has confirmed is that we got a bounce at a very obvious support level. It made perfect sense that we would get at least one reaction off that level. If we come back down to that level, I'm not so sure that I feel the same about it. I always say when I play these Stubers, I really like to take the first test. I don't really like to take the trade repeatedly if we keep testing that level, because if we keep tapping away at that support, it's only a matter of time till it breaks, in my opinion. We see it all the time. Obviously, it is still support until it's broken, but just understand that that obvious support level has already played out. It's the same reason why I was worried about when we got that initial bounce off this Stuber fib over here. Same thing, right? I was very bearish at the time, and I was calling for it up at this level. I was saying we were going to drop to, 94K, or 93, 94K. Everyone thought I was crazy, but what do you know? We end up dropping to that level because it's just a classic fib setup. It just makes sense to retest that level, and yes, we got an obvious bounce from that level. Everyone says that bears are getting wrecked. I take a head short there, still have a quarter of that short running, by the way. It was just obvious we were going to get some sort of a bullish reaction from that price. It doesn't mean that it's bullish. It's just an obvious reaction level, just like this. And yes, it's possible this is just setting up for higher low, you know, another higher low, etc. It's just that there's so many things on the longer time frame that I still have my concerns about, you guys. In my opinion, the weekly I've been very vocally bearish about since Christmas, and it's been playing out to an absolute T. The 4 hour here, you guys, here's my thing basically. I've been bearish on the weekly for all of 2025 so far. The monthly chart last month it looks very, very bad, and I'm going to go over that in a little bit here. So I don't know if the 4 hour chart is going to outweigh a weekly and a monthly chart. That is my main concern. Yes, it's possible we bounce from here, but understand that it's very possible that we end up absolutely nuking to the downside. Something to go over with that is my weekly chart, you guys. It is nice that we're at least holding above this wick. I will give credit where credit is due, but this is a weekly chart. We did break support. We have broke this structure. You know, on shorter time frames, we did absolutely have closes below that, so there is a broken structure right here. And like I was talking about when we were trading down here, I was saying that I was expecting a double top with this big overextended bearish divergence. My reasoning for that was just basically that our RSI dropped from overbought conditions and it dropped that level. So to me, it just looked like the classic setup. It's one of my favorite reversal patterns. I know, Adrian, we were speaking about this yesterday on the 1 minute. We had the same setup. As soon as this RSI actually gets broken with a candle close and we close above this line, I promise you guys, I will be bullish again. That is what I am waiting for. I would love to be a moon boy again, but until at least one of my bearish signals, one of my bearish red flags is broken, until that happens, I can't be bullish. I have way too many red flags here, you guys. So not only do we have this little, let's break it down here. We have a little swing fail, a little liquidity grab above. We have broken structure to the downside. We have this massive reversal signal on the RSI with that big overextended bearish divergence. On top of that, with the Wave Master, we had this overextended reversal warning. And on top of that, we also have the high frequency trading bots pushing the downside. So there's a lot of things right now that are just warning us that the price very well may be bearish, right? It's not that we have to be in a bear market, but understand, guys, there is a lot of warnings right now that things are a little overextended to the upside. You know, fundamentally, whether you want to blame tariffs or just uncertainty in general, you know, there's a lot of it in the space right now. This is where I was talking about, you guys, the monthly chart, honestly, probably the most concerning thing that I have on my radar right now. And I never thought, you know, you guys know I love the 5 minute and the 1 minute. Here I am on the frickin' monthly chart. And just look at these order blocks, you guys. What happened very recently with this big, see, here's the thing, guys. The Moon Boys for the last several months loved talking about this monthly chart and how bullish it was. About a month ago, nobody was mentioning it anymore as soon as we ended up with a big ass red engulfing structure breaking red candle here. Massively bearish. We lost this support block right here. Just understand what happens when this happens, you guys. This is where we ended up losing our resistance block, and we flipped that resistance into support right here, and it was time for the bull market. That ended the bear market. When we had our bull market, we had this block here on the monthly, and we ended up losing that level. We flipped that support into resistance. We did the opposite. That was the end of the bull market. Before that, we had the same thing, right? Down here, we had this block. We end up breaking above it. We retest that resistance as support, and it was the end of the bear market. The last 3 times this has happened, you guys, it has been a cycle ender. This is not bias. This doesn't have room for interpretation. This is just fact. That is what happened. I want to be clear about this. This does not... your sound died. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But guys, this 10-4, yes, perfect. Perfect, good. Oh, thank you, scared me. Didn't want to have to go on that rant again. But guys, this does not need to play out the same, okay? I want to be clear about that. With trading, nothing has to happen again. I'm just looking at what has happened in the past here. And the last 3 times we broke one of these order blocks, it has been a cycle reversal, a full-on cycle reversal, you guys. This is where I want to start talking about fundamentals a little bit. We're just going to look at this chart and really let it print into our brains a little bit. Guys, a lot of people think that basically since Trump is in office, and last time he was in office, Bitcoin did very well, everything did very well. So they're expecting the markets to do the same thing, that he's in power again. Just understand that their government is literally doing the exact opposite of what they were in power last time. Last time they were in power, they were giving out a bunch of handouts because of COVID and all of that. There was so many handouts happening, just free money getting thrown around the place. And this time in office, they are literally doing the exact opposite. They are cutting everything. They are cutting spending on absolutely everything. There's a lot of downside to this that a lot of people are not understanding. But basically, that's all there is to it. They're doing literally the exact opposite of what they did last time they were in office, and they got a bull market last time they did, the exact opposite of what they are now. So why would the market do the same thing as last time? It doesn't really make sense to me. Guys, this is where it's going to get, hopefully I don't trigger anyone too bad, but Americans typically only hear about how good the cutbacks of everything has been. I want to talk about the Canada-US relations just because it's something I understand a little bit, being from Canada and kind of understanding what's going on here. Because this isn't just Canada. This is like what I'm talking about is going to be just Canada, but understand that this is happening to many other countries around the world too, with tariffs and such. Basically, I want to start with this, you guys. If Canada needs America so bad, why is Trump so desperate to have it? We have more land, we have more crops, we have more resources, more forests, more friends, and our debt per capita is 10% the amount of you guys. Canada not only survives, but thrives with incredibly harsh climates, you guys. We are very self-sustainable. I've been showing you guys screenshots this winter. We were literally the coldest place on Earth a few weeks ago. It was minus 53 degrees Celsius. Not many people can function with that. We still have full operation. Everything is going around the city and that sort of stuff. Very self-sustainable, something that is not seen from a lot of people. Canada retaliation has already cost America billions of dollars that they don't mention. Jack Daniels alone, guys, we all love the odd drink, right? Jack Daniels alone, I believe, just said that they will lose over $1 billion because most provinces in Canada have ditched American booze. Turns out Canadians drink a fuckload, you guys. Canada will retaliate with cutting or throwing tariffs on a good chunk of America's power. We supply so much natural gas and hydroelectricity for America, not to mention potash. If you guys enjoy eating food, if you like lumber that you enjoy building, the list goes on. I promise you guys that Trump's tariffs on Canada, not to mention a bunch of other countries around the world, will not end up with more money in American citizens' pocket. I absolutely promise you guys that. Not to mention, you guys, let's go into national security now. America loves to say that we need their military, To be fair, obviously, yes, their military is centuries ahead of ours. But the only reason that Canada needs to be protected is because of America's enemies. Countries don't have beef with Canada. They have beef with the states, and it would not be in their best interest to totally let their guard down around their peaceful neighbors. Sorry, guys. That's just a little bit of a rant that I really wanted to go on because I don't think a lot of people are considering the other side of the coin on a lot of the things that are happening lately. And this ties into why I think it's easy to misunderstand how fundamentals will actually affect the markets. Last time Trump was in office, like I said, there was a ton of handouts to everybody. And of course, the markets went up. It just makes sense. This time, they're literally doing the exact opposite, making cuts to everything, pissing off a lot of friends and neighbors. In my opinion, they're going to devastate the middle class in the next few years. I think it's going to take time until you see it, just like the COVID inflation. We are going to see it, and someone else is going to get blamed, but it is what it is. This wasn't happening, a month or two ago. So again, why would the markets act the same? I don't know. Everyone was begging for this cycle to be different, and you guys, I think you got your wish, but I don't think you specified what you meant when you wanted it to be different, because I don't think it's going to be different in the way that a lot of people have thought. And I'm sorry, guys. That's just what I'm seeing. You guys know I'm not much of a fundamental guy. So you guys, to be fair, I could be wrong on a lot of this and how this is going to play out. That's why I trade charts and not fundamentals, because I just think it's a lot easier to keep a level head when you're just straight up looking at the analysis rather than trying to understand that. But so many people are looking at that type of fundamental and thinking that, well, there's nothing possibly bad that could happen to the cryptocurrency space because, you know, the Americans are going to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I mean, personally, I think that, you know, what we've been seeing so far is we see the announcements of these crypto events. We see the Moon Boys start creaming their jeans. We see a sell the news event at a lower high market structure, basically. In my opinion, it's acting very much like a bear market would act. It's a little more controlled than previous ones, but there's a lot more money in the space. And to me, I mean, if I was, you know, looking to do something strategic and I wanted to accumulate, you know, 1 million Bitcoin or whatever they're claiming, well, for them to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin at today's prices would be damn near $100 trillion, you guys. What would be strategic about market buying all-time highs with $100 trillion? That's not going to happen. The only way they're going to accumulate that much is if they push the price to the downside, in my opinion. So I just want, and you guys, again, I could be wrong about this. Maybe they go full idiot and just market smash buys. Maybe. I just don't see it. That doesn't seem strategic to me at all. And I just think that in general, the markets are in a very scary place right now. And I don't think, I think people are celebrating too soon. I think that the markets and the middle class are going to be absolutely fucking devastated in the next couple of years. It's just a gut feeling. I hope I'm wrong, you guys, but it's a strong gut feeling. Sorry to go on that long rant. I know, guys, I'm normally just a technical analysis guy, but I just wanted to spit that out there because a lot of people aren't willing to consider the opposite point of view of, you know, what they're looking at, and just understanding that, you know, well, maybe it is possible that the market could go down. I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes way more sense to me that this cycle is either done or very close to done. And something else I want to mention about that is a lot of people, myself included, I still think that, you know, I still think that there's one more pump to the upside. I still think we could get one more pump to the upside before we absolutely drop off a cliff. The thing is, you guys, I remember when it was just like maybe me and Smallio, maybe a couple other people kind of had that theory. Across social media, even in the Discord, just everywhere, you guys, Twitter, YouTube, everything, I'm seeing so many people who have become very comfortable with that idea that, oh yeah, you know, we're getting one more and then I'm going to sell because I think that's the end of the cycle. A lot of people are really banking on that one more, and I don't know if they're going to get the chance. I just have a weird feeling they're going to get front run. If anything, I could see us bouncing, but I don't think we're going to all-time highs. And if we do, I think it's going to be a liquidity grab. I am very happy to be wrong about that, you guys. But something I want to go over, you guys know how many examples over the last 2.5 years, you guys. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I've been here for 2.5 years, but I've really only been talking about the super fib strategy for maybe a year and a half, something like that. But how many countless examples have I shown you on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 4 hour, and people always tell me it's not going to happen, and then it happens. Just understand what the weekly chart did when it broke this structure here. You know exactly what I would be looking for if this was a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart. I would be looking for a bounce up to about 102 to 106, and I would be expecting that to be a lower high, quite honestly. It's possible that we go higher because you guys know my invalidation would be just past the 115. That would be pushing us more towards around 114, 115,000 US. And to be fair, that's kind of what a few of us have been talking about for months now, that, hey, if we get one more push, I think it's just going to be kind of to that, like 115. I personally don't think we even see 150. I don't know. I think we're very close to a top. Again, guys, I am so happy to be wrong on that theory. It's not like I'm panic selling everything. The only thing that has changed for me from basically, well, back here when I flipped bullish at about 20K, when people were telling me I was crazy and we were going way lower, and I had my bullish opinion down here, and I was a moon boy ever since. Basically, I got bearish here temporarily, but then when we got, we invalidated my RSI, and then I was willing to accept the fact that we can go higher, just like right now. I'm not saying it is the bear market, but I'm very ready for it if it is the bear market, basically. The only thing that's changing now, if I'm bearish on the trend right now versus being bullish for this whole time, the only difference is that I'm just favoring which direction I'm trading with leverage. And guys, I've even taken the odd long. I was showing you guys earlier the Stuber Fib long that I'm still in a quarter of that trade as well, from 82.1. So I'll still trade whichever direction, but that's the thing, guys. I don't have a strong emotional attachment to this market because as a trader, and I understand I've been trading the downside incredibly well for all of 2025. I don't have that attachment to need that up only mentality. That's very much people who are not willing to trade both directions. But as somebody who's very comfortable trading, and I trade every single day, I am comfortable trading the downside. And I personally think this bear market's going to be way fucking easier to trade than this bull market was, because you had to basically win the lottery to pick an altcoin that was going to do well for the entire cycle. Or you just got lucky for maybe a couple days, whatever, a short phase. But in the bear market, we know meme coins are all going down 95% and then bouncing and going down 95% and then bouncing and going down 95%. And that's all of them. It's not just one that's failing. That's all of them. So it's going to be so much easier, you guys, in my opinion anyways. Maybe the cycle's different and that doesn't happen. But I mean, even in the healthy stages of this bull market, we saw meme coins dropping off a cliff left and right. I mean, this market got, to put it quite clear, with everything that happened with Solana and Pump Fund and meme coins and shit, this altcoin season got completely fucked, if you ask me. And that is me putting it nicely. This market got so diluted. There is literally over 1 million coins being created every single week. They can't graduate their Pump Fund. They can't get anywhere. If you hold a new coin for 15 minutes, you're basically, a part of the community. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, there's my harsh truths for now. Hopefully I didn't upset anybody or give anyone nightmares tonight. But, yeah, again, anything is possible. I have my invalidations. I really think the first thing to make me go bullish again will be this RSI trend line that breaks on the weekly. Like I said, guys, if that breaks on the weekly with an actual weekly close, because when this weekly candle started, as well as actually the last 3 weekly candles, I think when they started, we were slightly above this line, but never did we close a candle where it closed above that level. We just got rejected. So that's our third touch point. So we have 3 touch points on this trend line. You guys know how I feel about trend lines. I always want 3 exact touch points before it breaks to get a proper breakout. Now, if the RSI breaks that level, I will happily strap on my freaking astronaut suit with everybody else. I will hop on that rocket myself. I will be a moon boy if that happens, but that hasn't happened yet. So I will not FOMO into tweets and speeches. That's not how I trade. If you're going to trade fundamentals, in my opinion, the only way you can do it is if you're trading basically a weekly chart. If you're trying to trade 5-minute and 1-minute charts based on tweets and fundamentals, you're gonna fucking destroy your account. I'm sorry, I've been there, like 4 years ago or whatever when I started trading. I mean, I was trying to trade fundamentals through a bear market and I got wrecked every step of the way, but I learned how to trade. I learned how to accumulate coins on the way down, which then I knew how to short for the next, well, actually halfway through that cycle, is when I started shorting and playing with leverage, and now I know how to trade. So just understand, like, for anybody who thinks that we can't enter a bear market or we can't drop more than this 30%, if you've been here for more than one cycle like myself, you know damn well that everything I'm talking about is a very realistic possibility. Anybody who's been here for more than one full cycle knows that Bitcoin does not give a shit about our opinions. And yes, it always feels like this cycle's different. There's always exponentially bigger players in the space, and it feels like it can't tank as far again. That's every single cycle that's happened, you guys, has had exponentially larger players in the space. You need exponentially larger players in the space to get the same type of market structure. Because even though Bitcoin has a fixed supply, you have to understand that there's way more margin trading. There's more paper contracts of Bitcoin. If you want to count paper contracts, there's sure as a hell a lot more than 21 million of them. Every year, every day, there is more coins in circulation because they are getting mined still for the next 100 years or however long. I mean, there's so many things to understand that, yeah, you know, we don't need to get a crate. And in my opinion, I hate to say this, guys, but I think the parabolic Bitcoin days may be over after this cycle. I'm, again, very happy to be wrong about that. But basically, you need a new wave of exponentially larger amounts of money coming into the market every cycle. We have BlackRock, we have governments. What's the next big one? I mean, banks are already in it. Like, there's no bigger players. Yes, it'll keep, in my opinion, it'll keep going up over time. Like, I just think I am bullish on Bitcoin. Like, sorry to sound bearish on it. I'm very bullish on it as an asset and as a store of value over time, because I think it's programmed to outperform the dollar naturally. But there's a lot of things to consider. I think that since the bigger players are in the space, it's going to be a lot tamer. You know, rather than getting the 20x's and stuff we're used to with Bitcoin, yeah, maybe we're only getting a 2x from the old all-time high, or not even, right? Maybe all of a sudden we're only getting a 2x or a 3x from the bear market bottom next time. I don't know, you guys. I have no idea how this is going to play out. I just trade the structure. It's way more important to be able to react than predict. I say it all the time. Way more important being able to just kind of, if this happens in the chart, this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter if I think something's going to happen. What matters is how you actually execute a trade. And I love trading, and I don't care. You know what? If we never go parabolic again, if the volatility just drops off a cliff in the future, at least you can always crank up the leverage, right? Like, I'm not saying right now crank up the leverage because it's incredibly volatile right now, but if it ever comes to the day where volatility really drops off a cliff for Bitcoin, then at least, you know, we have access to leverage and stuff at our fingertips, on our phones, on everything, right? It's very easily accessible. So I don't care. As a trader, I still love Bitcoin. As a person who actually uses it on a day-to-day basis with, you know, payments and stuff like that, I love Bitcoin. I absolutely love it. But I'm just spitting some truths about, you know, some hopium killer, I guess. Just that. And it's not that I don't think it'll necessarily go parabolic, you guys. It's just being open to the idea that nothing has to happen. That's really what I'm trying to drill home here, is just, if you think something has to happen, it doesn't. No matter what that is about, you can always be wrong. You're never 100% sure that you're correct. And if you feel like you are, you're probably not. Bitcoin's still struggling with the resistance on the shorter time frame. Just to get back into the lighter stuff here, looking at some analysis here, you guys. One coin I wanted to talk about was Solana, you guys. I had mentioned this in a few streams ago, and I don't even remember when I drew this box, so it must have been, you know, a week or two ago or something like that. But notice we flipped that support into resistance, and that's not a good look for Solana. We lost very important structure right here, because we had this high and this higher high on the 4 hour. There's our higher low. We dropped that level and just recently flipped it, and everyone got all excited because we were pumping again, right into old support, flipping perfectly into new resistance. And on top of that, guys, I want to bring up the Trendmaster indicator. Notice we have this sell signal. We lost this uptrend to buy signals. Notice where we're getting rejected right now is right at the sell signal. I mean, this is just not a good look for Solana. In my opinion, it's going down towards $80. I could be very wrong on that, as always, you guys, but just kind of zooming out to the daily chart. If we go back to where this pump actually started, Yeah, I mean, I would expect that we find some sort of support at these levels here, but I don't know if it's going to stick because we broke such a macro time frame. But if Bitcoin does that bounce, like I was talking about, the macro bearish super fib, if it gets that bounce, then yeah, maybe it would set some sort of a lower high off a fib like that, and then come down to the actual macro super fib. Tough to say, right? But just again, open to the idea because we broke some very serious structure. We have indicators lining up with that theory. That's a daily sell signal also. Notice that pump that we got shut down right at that resistance that I mapped out, as well as the sell signal on this indicator. Basically a double top sell signal as well. That's not a good look. I'm sorry, I just can't lie to you. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. I've been on a pretty hot rant here. I have about, oh wow, like 60 missed messages here. Repeat everything after Canada. Oh God. The truth has to be spoken. And again, guys, like I there is things that have happened fundamentally that I do respect. Okay, there is a lot of things. So I'm just more so pointing out the and I also don't think that the States necessarily needs Canada either. Let me be clear about that. I think we're fine, but he desperately wants us, and I'm just that was just because I understand that side of it a little bit, because I'm seeing it play out from our side as well. Just understand how things are going to get affected on the other side of things as well, and how just because you throw tariffs on other countries, some of your own companies and businesses and factories are going to get fucked. And that's not just from Canada. That's from, a lot of other countries as well that are going to get upset. Even the fact, wasn't there a nuclear sub recently that got turned down for a refuel and they had to turn around on their mission and stuff because people are just upset, right? That has nothing to do with my beliefs. That's just things that are happening, and why I can see tariffs going the other way as well. There's just a lot of uncertainty right now. But more so, the only reason I'm really bringing up the fundamentals at all, you guys, is because you guys know I'm always all about the structure in the charts. But a lot of people are telling me that my structure doesn't matter because the fundamentals have decided that they don't. But understand that the chart has invalidations, whereas holding on to fundamentals and possibly just missing key points of it, there is not really an invalidation for that. So if you're trading the weekly chart, for example, and you want to, look at the fundamentals and invest that way, etc., then sure, whatever. But as a trader, I would never look at the fundamentals or looking at tweets and trying to trade those. Oh God, that just sounds like a nightmare to me. That just sounds like a one-way trip to Rec City for sure. What RSI do I use? Just the relative strength index. Just the regular one. I've changed the colors a little bit, and I removed the background shading and the midline, but other than that, it's just the regular RSI. Yeah, Adrian gets it. I like to play with colors. Stu needs a Jack and Coke. I'd take one. Instead, it's probably going to be Crown Royal or something like that, though, right? Correct. I'm not using the moving average baseline on the RSI either. I've just made it very basic. Yeah. Crypto Soho, to me, the only bullish is Bitcoin. I want to buy ETH low, but if we start closing below 1500, is a falling knife to 899? Yeah, I mean, very possible. And honestly, yeah, I mean, long term, Bitcoin, the way I see it is Bitcoin can basically do everything that we need out of crypto. So much of crypto is a lot of hopium, and yes, you get those initial pumps with the I guess just the anticipation stage. But you know, a lot of, especially with AI and stuff, I mean, you know, when you get companies growing so fast in their value but they don't necessarily have a revenue plan yet, then it's hard to access those and make it worthwhile, and all of a sudden the bubble starts to pop, kind of a thing. You start to see structure falling off a cliff, which unfortunately I'm holding a bunch of AI coins, for example, that have dumped off a cliff. Such is life, right? That's the thing. Understand, guys, when I'm bearish like this, my spot bags are taking a shit kicking just like everyone else's. It's just that I'm willing to trade the downside as well as a hedge. Deep winter up by the North Pole. He's barely seen sunshine. We actually have quite long days here, I will say, especially now that they're getting longer. Definitely have, like, the thing I notice whenever I go somewhere tropical like Mexico or anywhere near the equator, I always think, like, man, are the days short here. Keeps apologizing, must be a fellow Canadian. That's so true, hey. Oh, I might have offended somebody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, eh? Yeah, I need my Canadian lettuce to chill me out a little bit here. Here we go. Found some. Ooh, cream soda flavored dabs. Yummy. Pepe got smashed. Oh yeah, it did. To be fair, most altcoins, especially meme coins, definitely got smashed. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? If there's blood in the streets, typically that's the time to buy. It's just, the thing is, guys, and I want to make this clear as well on the longer time frame. Like, understand, the one thing leading me to feel slightly bullish right now is that a lot of people are starting to flip bearish now. The thing is, I feel like those people are only bearish while we are still going down. I think as soon as we get any sort of a decent bounce, even now you're starting to see a lot more of the hopium tweets coming back and stuff like that. So that's one thing to consider. You know, if people are starting to get too bearish, that maybe it's time for a correction. It's just, the thing is, guys, I'm willing to accept the fact that I think we could bounce, and I think we could bounce to 106, even 114k. I don't really think we're going to get that. I think the highest we go is 106k. Happy to be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It just looks a little bit rough right now. That's all. And I think as soon as we see any sort of bouncing, you see the full hopium, the Moon Boys are back on social media, and the difference is I've been bearish since all-time highs, since we got this bearish divergence here when we tapped it right at all-time highs. That's literally when I got bearish on this, and I was warning about it at Christmas already, to watch out for this double top with that divergence. So I've been very ready for that, and I have been bearish since, whereas a lot of people aren't getting bearish until we are, you know, dropping support. And those people who are shorting late are the ones getting wrecked if they're just YOLOing into shorts thinking we're going straight to zero, kind of a thing. Understand that my approach is very different. I trade mostly the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart. I'm very quick to close half my position, to lock in profits, lock in my trading fees, remove risk from the markets, and from there, if the second half of my position keeps running, then fantastic. So even when I'm taking these shorts, you know, like this one, for example, I closed a quarter of it here. I'm going to close another quarter of it here. If we keep running to the downside from there, I'll have a break even stop, and you know, then it's very stress free from there. I like laddering into positions just like I like laddering out of positions. That way, you know, so many times people, and I set my orders beforehand as well, you guys. So many people would sit here and wait until we hit that level and then sit there and think, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But all of a sudden it goes up here, and then you get stopped out here. And all of a sudden, you know, the positions that you would have won are no longer outweighing the losses that you do in fact take, right? So you have to, that's exactly why I love this trading strategy. It's why I love trading fibs, is because it's so structured, it's so repeatable. I'm a simple guy. I need a simple strategy. The system works. The Stuber fib is the 786 to the 886. There is also very specific structure breaks that go with that. So it's not just a random pivotal point. There's a few different methods that I have for doing them. But I do actually have a video that is linked to my Twitter, StuTube Trading, all one word. This is pinned to my profile, so it's the first thing right at the top there. I do have a very basic Stuber fib video. I do have a more in-depth one as well, but this is the basic one. I guess I should ask, guys, how does everyone else feel about the markets? Do you guys think I'm absolutely on crack? Do you think I'm onto something? Oof, 1.15 trillion wiped out from the stock market today. Yeah, I'll take a sip for the moon, boys. Actually, I'll take a blasty blast. Chaos, that's a good question. Do you see any signs on the 12-hour, the 1-day, the 2-day for a potential move up to the 618 or 786 rejection? Or do you think the weekly just dominating and any move up to the 786, 618 still wouldn't negate the weekly bearish view? So here's the thing with my bearish view. If we start breaking, yeah, basically, I really think the first thing that I will see on this, like I said earlier, if we break this RSI downtrend line, breaking my bearish divergence, that is when I think that I will truly be bullish again. I don't see it happening before that, unless basically if we set a new all-time high, because that would be actually breaking structure on the weekly. I haven't looked at the 2-day or the 12-hour, though I typically don't look at those time frames, and it's nothing against them. I just don't. The daily, I can take a look at. I'll take a look at the daily here. Just want to erase a few things. Just I actually I had to point this out on Twitter. I had posted basically right before Trump's inauguration. I tweeted ready to get wrecked. And it was literally calling for the top. We got our little liquidity grab. We got our January 20th reversal. It was so fucking obvious, you guys. I'm sorry if you bought into the FOMO, because a lot of people got it, but it was so predictable. In the pro signals, I actually posted, I think it was down here actually. I think we were around here, and I had mapped something out that was like, it was something like that. Maybe someone can pull up that pro signals. It would have been, honestly, I think early January when I predicted that. Or, well, when would it have been? End of December, I think I would have posted it. But yeah, I was very vocal about thinking that we were going to get at least some sort of a short-term correction from that. So again, I don't know for sure if this is the bear market now, but it was just a very obvious sell the news event, just like I said. Every single other Trump event around crypto has been a sell the news event. So again, that's not even anything personal. That's just fact. It just keeps happening and people keep buying into it. I'm curious if anyone else is in a scalp short from this Stuber setup. Like I said, it was a little riskier when we were testing it the second time, but basically when we got this structure break here, that's where I was willing to accept that I think we would be coming back up to this level, because we broke the microstructure, right? We had our low, we had a lower low, that's our lower high. We broke that level. It makes sense we'd go back to the top of the range. And with the AI charting tools, printed out this lower high right here. And so I pulled a fib from there, and sure as shit, look where we get rejected, right? Yeah, so far they are going down quite crazy this cycle. I can't see the risk reward worth it with these shit coins. Honestly, guys, like especially those. And don't get me wrong. Here's the truth, guys. Me personally, here's an example of me getting wrecked. For example, is trading not altcoins, meme coins specifically. I know I have said in the chat before, and I've actually mentioned this in the last few streams. Guys, understand this meme coin super cycle, as everyone was claiming. I hit an 80x on what was it? I hit an 80x on Goatsy. I hit a 70x on IQ 6900. I hit another 12x on Goatsy. I hit another 10x on Goatsy. I hit 10x on Silk Road. And I can say with confidence that I am down on that account, even after all of those, because of how many shit coins get absolutely nuked and just rugged immediately. And I, like, to be fair, I put very small amounts in when I'm trading meme coins. It's nothing like my actual trading account. Basically, if I would not put that much money in a VLT while I'm out drinking with the boys, then I'm not willing to put that much into a meme coin. They are incredibly dangerous and nothing more than a gamble, in my opinion. So that's how I treat them. I know some people do very well on them. That's just not for me. I'm so much better at analyzing a chart than I am finding fundamentals about communities and finding out what the devs are actually up to and all that sort of shit. I'd have no interest in looking and following that sort of stuff. I would way rather just pull some fibs, draw some lines, place some orders. Mihao. Sorry, I hope I pronounced that right this time. Mihao, right? Since last time I was so confused. I really appreciate the way you explain and teach. The simple stuff helped me a lot in the last few weeks to properly focus on charts and start getting rid of the bias. All takes time, but it's a great start. Absolutely, man. And I'm so happy to hear that. Because that's the thing. Like I said, honestly, I'm a simple guy. I need simple strategies. I don't like when you can start over analyzing things. I just want to look at something and know within a few seconds if I'm going to take a trade or not, basically. Yeah, I don't feel anymore. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, right? Those of us who have been through several market cycles, we don't really have the same emotional attachment that people do on their first cycle who think that things are going to be different even though they haven't experienced the other ones. You know, the crypto market has humbled us all before, those of us who have been here for more than one cycle. It has humbled us, it has wrecked us, it has embarrassed us, it has done all those things. This guy is clever and smart and has a feeling to the market using TA. So why is he an hodler, especially if he is that bearish? If you're referring to me, the reason that I am still hodling some of my positions, most of my spot, in fact, is because, like I mentioned earlier, as a trader, the most important thing you can learn is that you could be wrong, and I am totally comfortable with my investments because, like I said, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin long term. I'm very comfortable to ride my spot bags for the next couple years if we need to tumble for a little bit. However, I'm more so extremely bearish on the fact that I can trade with leverage heavily and I can make money on the way down anyways. So I don't mind. I mean, consider how many people dollar cost average in, right? I mean, the thing is, I was buying Bitcoin down here. Oop. Like I said, right after the FTX collapse, there was very few of us who were instantly bullish because we figured that, hey, I think that's capitulation. We've broken some structure to the upside. We came back. We retested resistance as support. So I don't care if the market doesn't go another $5,000 higher because I didn't buy into the all-time highs like a lot of people did. I was buying in the bear market. And I am totally comfortable to hold, like, yeah, I take profits out and I have sold some of my positions. As always, even with my altcoins, a lot of my altcoins, I was taking profits on the way up. But I'm still willing to hold some because absolutely maybe there is an announcement that actually matters for once. And we do just go absolutely parabolic. Then I still have my spot bags. But I can make money to the downside the same. As a trader, I really don't care which way the market goes. Loving this volatility. Love to hear it. And that's the thing, right? I don't care if we trade sideways. I don't care if we go down. I don't care if we go up. I'm just playing it 1 minute or 5 minute swing at a time, basically. Even if you're on crack, keep going. Holy hell, you guys. I can't even keep up to the chat. There is 115 new messages. I love to see that everybody is all, well, hopefully not too hostile towards me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch up on all these. Guys, I can barely read, and you guys are making me read over 100 messages. I am going to skip a whole bunch here. Yeah, Sam, we absolutely had some great fun degenning in the shitcoin casino last year. And that's the thing, right? I mean, I don't even regret it. Like I said, I was throwing gambling amounts of money at meme coins, so it was exciting when one would hit or whatever. But like, realistically, I wasn't looking at making my living that way. I'd rather trade these. Actually, that's very true. Mac Guy, I will give you that. The Trump election was the only one, and I did mean to mention that, so sorry, I did forget that one. And you are correct. The Trump election was not a sell the news. We did pump after that. Fully admit that. It's more so his crypto-specific events that are sell the news things, like his Bitcoin speech while he was still running. And I guess his inauguration, too. Adrian, how could you? How could you long something? Just kidding. And that's exactly it, right, guys? Like, and that's my whole point of being able to trade against your own bias. Like, I am bearish as shit. I mean, I have proven for the last hour how openly bearish I am about this market, but I'm still in a long from 82.1, and there's a lot of people who are bullish, unlike me, who didn't long until up here. They had no faith in support, but they want to long into resistance, just like people wanted to short into support. It's just very natural retail trader behavior. So Adrian, I feel ya. I'm also in a long, I suppose. A rugged casino. Let's fucking go. Yeah, Sam, perfect for trading. You don't care about news anymore. Exactly. Top signals on top of top signals. See it. And that's how I feel about it. Chaos, you've been in crypto a lot longer than me, I believe. Like, how do you feel about this market cycle? Do you kind of agree with everything I'm saying, or do you think I'm totally out to lunch? Oh, phew, caught up on some messages. Sorry if I missed any of your messages. I was kind of skimming through there. You're afraid I'm spot on? Well, I love to hear that, man. And we'll see, right? It's guys, again, I know I keep really hammering on the bearish, the bear porn here, but again, as soon as this weekly RSI is broken, understand that my opinion's going to change very quickly. That's how trading works. Reacting is way more important than predicting. I can predict all day. There's a lot of people who are predicting us to be bullish, and even if we go to the upside, they got wrecked this entire time. Whereas somebody could be bullish and trading this to the downside anyways and winning. Or you know, the thing is, like, yes, I've been favoring the shorts for this entire year. 95% of my trades, actually probably 98% of my trades, have been shorts in 2025. 80% of those are probably on Trump coin. But other than that, guys, like, there could be someone else who is trading the long side, and all that matters is that execution plan. Like I said earlier, somebody could be going long, I could be going short. We could even enter at the exact same time at the exact same price, and we could both win those trades. We could both lose those trades. All that matters is execution on your trades at the end of the day. And Zeus, if you're in here, oh, I don't think he is. There was the one day when we were on the voice chat, I know some of you guys were there with us, and there was something that led him to take a long. There was something that led me to take a short. We took them at about the same time, and we both nailed our trades, because all that mattered, it didn't matter what our opinion was. All that mattered is how it was executed at the end. So that's the important part of trading, right? Zeus left after the bear porn. Now, what's the reason he left? Was he offended, or was he a little excited and had to leave? Interesting. We already got a lower high signal here. This is too bad. So this is the AI charting tools, those swing pivots, just based on how they're pulled. I don't know exactly what criteria they look for, but I think volume and stuff is factored into. But it is a lagging indicator. So it's unfortunate how this structure played out. There would have been an obvious Stuber fib right there for another little scalp. I don't really want to pull a new one from here because obviously it would have played out already. But yeah, if we bounce a little higher, then there's another level of resistance there, basically. If we get above 90, I would say 90,800, I would say that we're going to test a little bit higher at that point. But there's quite a few levels of resistance. I think if we break this lower high, it makes sense that we would come and test resistance on something like this, the bigger swing there. And then we would basically have resistance anywhere from the 786 is where I would start looking for resistance in that case. But obviously we also have the highs of this swing. So a decent amount of resistance, even if we climb a little bit here. So be careful out there, guys. Like I said, very uncertain times. Even if Bitcoin bounces, you have to understand that there is a lot of resistance showing up. Like I said, my bullish targets have been hit. That's why I only have a quarter of this long position still open as basically my moon bag of, yeah, if we take off, then whatever. Doesn't matter if I'm wrong about my bearish theories because I have a long open from down here. And if we nuke from here, I have 2 shorts open. Yeah, anyways, legends, I think that's about all I wanted to go over today. So hopefully you guys found this stream useful. For those of you watching this on my YouTube channel a little later, if you are interested in joining the MDX Algo community and gain access to my favorite indicators on TradingView, there is a link down below which gives an additional 10% discount on checkout. Also, I've recently started a private Telegram channel where I share some of my trade ideas, scalp setups, Stuber fib levels, and my just general thoughts on the market. Just a place for me to keep all my ideas together, basically, and that way I'm not just flooding one place. It is free to join, but you need to sign up with my to BloFin, the exchange, using my link. That's actually set up through Financial Summit, so that's on their end of things. But yeah, I've just been posting a bunch. I actually posted this trade setup, this short that I took right before stream. I posted about my hedge from 82.1. I was posting about why I was so bearish on this swing fail up here. Everybody blamed the Bybit hack, but I was very bearish and short from the structure. So all a bunch of things that I've been going over in there as well. But yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy this stream. I know it's a little different from what I typically go over, and I know it's a little different opinion from the typical echo chamber out there, but hopefully I didn't offend anybody too bad. I truly am not aiming to just offend people, but I'm just spitting out truths for just trying to look at things from different angles, because the thing is, like I said, guys, as traders, it's so important to be able to consider that you might be wrong, and being able to take a step back and look at the opposite side of things just in case you're looking at things differently. And I think a lot of fundamentals are being missed in the fundamental analysis. So I thought it was something important that I needed to bring up to your attention, because I needed, basically, I just know a lot of people don't want to hear that, you know, it's even possible that we're starting a bear market. Again, I have no idea if we're starting the bear market. If this candle closes green, a big engulfing over all-time highs, I am going to be very bullish again, because that's a massive structure change again. However, we currently, the most recent structure change and the flipping of support into resistance has recently caused me a little bit of concern and just open to some possibilities. So with that, guys, again, if you appreciate it, and if you want to catch up on some of it, or you missed some of it or whatever, it will be on my YouTube channel as well. But with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.